There are cases in history when experiments were conducted on people for the sake of science. These physical or psychological experiments may have been cruel, illegal, unethical, and just plain weird, but the researchers who conducted them believed that the end justified the means. The tea room trade, a study of homosexual contact in public spaces. In the 1960s, sociologist Laud Humphreys conducted a groundbreaking study called the tea room trade, which focused on men who engaged in anonymous sexual activity with other men in public restrooms. Rooms in American gay slang. Through observation and interviews, he sought to explore the social dynamics of this environment and the motives of its participants. Humphreys disguised himself as a voyeur, tracking his subjects in cars and interviewing them under the guise of a healthcare worker. Today, his work is often cited as an example of unethical social research. Study of malaria in Stateville penitentiary institutions. The Stateville Prison Malaria Study, conducted in the 1940s, is one of the most controversial studies in history. It took place at the Stateville Prison in Illinois, USA, and was aimed at testing the effect of malaria on prisoners by deliberately infecting them with the malaria parasite. The infected people were then administered different drugs, and their effectiveness in treating the infection was measured. The experiment expanded the understanding of the mechanisms of malaria and its treatment. However, the study has sparked a lot of debate about its ethics. Operation Artichoke. Operation Artichoke, a CIA-led program, was conducted from 1951 to 1961 and was aimed at investigating the use of hypnosis and other forms of psychological manipulation in intelligence gathering. This program was part of the larger MKUltra project, initiated by the CIA to study the effects of psychological manipulation on people. Operation Artichoke was aimed at assessing the effectiveness of hypnosis and other psychological methods in obtaining information from interrogated persons. The researchers also tried to understand how to use hypnosis to change the memory or behavior of a person involved in covert operations. The program caused controversy over its ethics and was eventually terminated. The Monsters Study. In 1939, Wendell Johnson, a psychologist at the University of Iowa, conducted a psychological experiment called the Monster Study. Its purpose was to study the influence of value judgments on the speed of speech in young children. The participants were 22 subjects, children from an orphanage, randomly divided into two groups. Children from one group were encouraged and praised for their reading and language abilities, while children from the other group were ridiculed and severely criticized. As a result, some healthy children in the second group developed signs of stuttering. The experiment was recognized as unethical because of the psychological trauma it caused these children and the lack of consent from their guardians or legal representatives. Operation Midnight Climax. Operation Midnight Climax was a covert CIA program conducted in the 1950s and 1960s as part of the larger MKUltra project. Agents set up safe houses in San Francisco and New York City, where they used prostitutes to lure unsuspecting men. At the safe house, they would discreetly administer hallucinogenic drugs such as LSD to them in order to observe and document the effects of these substances on behavior. This unethical experiment continued until it was made public in the 1970s, leading to its termination. During the years of this research, many psychedelics were tested on hundreds of unsuspecting people. This is 5 stories, but there are many more. Humanity has done a lot of good, but it has also made a lot of mistakes. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. See you soon.